Oh, because Liz is waiting, I'm going to bring her on in just a second, and I want to ask her what she thinks of the cover of the DVD or Blu-ray, which is now available for pre-sale at thechosengifts.com. Pre-sale. It's not going to be out for another month and a half, 2 months or so, but you can kind of get first in line now and get a discount and all that. Here it is. So I'm going to bring on, I see Liz here. I'm going to try to bring her on. All right, let me see here. I sent the request. I don't know what's coming next. There she is.
Hi.
Hey, Liz.
How are you?
Good. And where are you?
I'm in California now. I'm in California now.
And you have moved. So you have moved from Texas to California. I lived in California for 10 years, went to Illinois, and now I'm going back to Texas. So you and I are switching spots.
Just a little flip-flop. No big deal.
And our viewership just jumped by like 25% when you came on. So,
hello, everyone.
Yes,
Thanks for joining.
So first question, most important question, what do you think?
Thrilled and excited and was not expecting that.
Yeah,
Jonathan texted me. He watched it the night before, I think, and he like texted me screenshots of it. And I was sort of flabbergasted and overwhelmed. I went through a whole like mixture of emotions. I was very excited to find that out.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that it's like Mary and not like the sad Lilith character from season one.
Right. So in season one, Simon was on the cover. Season two, now Mary's on the cover. We've got actually plans for each season. And it seems like the theme is whoever's like struggling through the biggest weirdness is gonna find a place.
Their compensation is the cover.
Exactly. We're like, yeah, thank you for going through this. Here you go.
Take it.
Yeah. So you texted me shortly after the season finale, and I also saw that you posted something that you were screaming in the last moment. Talk me through that. What did you think of the? Oh, real quick. I just saw this. Yeah. Mimi Barker says we need a photo of Liz finding herself in Walmart. So that I don't know if you ever saw that picture of Shahar.
I do. I remember it.
Shahar took a picture of himself in Walmart, and it's just a selfie. And it was kind of like, it was very lo-fi. It wasn't a big professional picture like he's capable of taking. And it's probably, not probably, it's one of our top 2 or 3 most responded to, engaged with photos ever. So you have a lot of pressure at some point.
I'll do it. I'll get to it. Yeah, when's it out? When's it supposed to be out? I didn't catch it.
Yeah, it'll be a couple months.
Okay.
Remind me. Yeah, so it takes time, but we'll for sure remind you. So talk me through that, because you have, I mean, this is what a lot of people don't recognize, is that actors, especially this season where we were releasing it publicly the moment it was ready, and occasionally we would tell you guys, hey, here's an early access the night before, but sometimes we'd forget and not tell you. And so it was like, you'd see it pretty much with everybody else. You know what it was like on that day to film when it's freezing cold. And, the camera's pointing at you, but you don't really know what we're seeing. So what did you think when, like, what caused you to get so excited in that final few minutes?
It was everything, honestly. First of all, watching the slow-mo with that music, it's glorious. And it, like, the second it goes to slow motion and the second that song starts, like, you feel it building. And then my memory of that day was just frozen, and everyone was just cold, and I remember the camera going by and knowing it was like going to be a slow-mo thing. My eyes were like swollen and watering, and I'm like, this is not going to look good. This is going to look just like terrible. That was my expectation. But then watching all the characters all together all at once for this sort of final shot, everyone looked, I hope this is the right word, it was haunting.
Yeah.
It was knowing like where this is going, and like kind of a point of no return, right? It's like no going back after this big, enormous public speaking event. And it just gave me the chills in like the best way. And then, so you're going back and forth and you're seeing all of these people's reactions to Jesus as he's looking at them. And everyone's so nuanced and connected to like their storylines. And then the music hits at this moment where Judas
Yep.
is revealed from behind Nathaniel, and then like you can see his awe, his wonder, and like oddly a sort of like guilt or something. There was just like, it's such a loaded moment.
Right.
That could be us knowing what's going to happen, but it's just like I don't have words for it, but I was just like screaming over it. It brought the whole story to this like amazing peak, and then cut to credits.
Yeah.
So it was, seeing then all of the crowds, the multitudes, and Jonathan's face at the end. It was just perfectly done. It really was.
That's cool to hear. Yeah, I've got a couple questions for you that have come in from viewers right now. But one thing I wanted to ask was, it had to be cool for you to watch Luke as Judas throughout the episode, because you, of course, don't interact with him at all in the episode. But is there a piece when new actors come on and you know that they're going to be part of the team now? Do you watch with kind of like I wonder what they bring to the table, what instrument they're going to play in the band? And I just love, like, the crowd reaction to Luke was over the moon. Like, people love his performance. They're devastated because they know they're going to end up hating this guy or having to hate him, but they don't want to because he's so charming. He's so
and sweet. He has like a sense of ethics and like business ethics and a kindness. And you can see him really wanting to, like, he has one line that also gave me the chills of like, don't you want to do something that lasts all of time or something like that? And knowing what the memory of him is going to be just like hurts, and he's so sweet, and like, you don't want him to do what you know he's going to be doing. It's powerful, and he's perfect for the role. I remember I watched you talking about Amanda watching him for the Philip audition, and then like her knowing like this is Judas.
Yeah.
What a choice. Like that's inspired.
He's legit. Amanda knows what she's doing.
She does.
So Anna R. Herndon says, question for Liz, hardest part of playing Mary?
I think especially this season, it was like being in a pretty good emotional state in my life, and then having to like delve into painful stuff for the character. Most of the days where it's just like hanging out, walking, chatting, I love, and it's very easy and easy to get into. But there is a pressure to like to do it justice, I think, and I think that would be the toughest part for me.
Yeah, because from having worked with you now for maybe not a long time, but quite a lot of quite a lot of intense moments.
3 years, yeah.
It doesn't seem like you have. I mean, sometimes it's hard if a scene is abnormally intense and maybe there's distractions. That might be hard, but once the camera's rolling, you're in the moment, and it seems like a lot of the pressures are more external than they are internal. Once you're with your scene partners, it seems like it goes pretty well most of the time. But yeah, I can imagine it's like when you step outside of it for a second and go, "Gosh, this is bigger than I am, and bigger than I expected."
There's also a gearing up for it. It's like the night before of like doing a very intense scene. It's like, will I be able to deliver? It's jitters. It's hoping that like it comes when it's supposed to happen. And there's pressure, just acting pressure, just normal.
So I'm going to ask you one or two more questions because we got several of your fellow cast members who are up here and going to be coming on in just a second. But one question that I'll ask kind of each of you, because someone asked, from Denise, she says, are the actors ever surprised by what they're learning about the people they're playing? Do they have any who knew moments, like things that as you've done any research for Mary Magdalene, which of course there's not a ton of information, but is there anything that when you research Mary Magdalene that you thought, that's interesting, I wouldn't have expected that, or ooh, that's going to be fun to kind of portray a different shape?
I didn't know she was possessed. I really didn't. The only thing I knew about Mary was that she was like Jesus's best gal pal, and she was there. She was the first at the resurrection. And so when I read the scripts for season 1, I was like, is this really what happened? And looking it up, like, that is a biblical thing. Like, she was exorcised of 7 demons in the Bible. And I had no idea, and I most of my family and friends like didn't know that either. So I was kind of surprised by that major character point.
Right. It's funny because it's actually how she's introduced in the Bible. It
Right,
says
right.
you have one of his followers was
No
Mary Magdalene
big,
who had 7 demons. But they say it so casually. It's like,
no big deal.
yeah, yeah,
Just a day in the life.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, well, we're going to spend a whole episode on that. It's like, oh, that's fun.
We should.
So, so anyway, I'm going to let you go. I thank you so much
Okay.
for being willing to come on for just
Of
a few minutes
course.
here. But yeah, season 2, the finale got so much great response, and we thought, you know what, let's just come on and have a little kind of a reminiscing, a little recap. And
It was so fun.
yeah, well, thanks so much, Liz, and we will. I will
Absolutely.
See you. All right.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
All right. So how do we? This is the part that always gets awkward, where you try to get off.
I'll hit the little leave. There we go.
Okay, great. Glad we figured that out. All right, let me see who else is waiting. Let's see here. We've got Alaa, who plays Simon Z. Let's see if I can get him in here. He's next in line. Let's see. There he is.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Alaa.
Hey, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. Are you in Italy right now?
I am in Italy, yeah.
Wow.
Having my night walk.
Oh yeah, what time is it? What time is it in Italy right now?
It's almost 1. It's 1:45 in the morning. Yeah, I didn't want to miss it. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you, brother. We just got these are the 5 comments that came in when you joined. One said "Allah" with like 5 A's.
That's me, yeah.
Someone said "Ooh, yes" with all capitals, and then someone said "Yay, Simon the Zealot" with 3 exclamation points. So a lot of people really excited. So the first question. Yeah, so the first question is from someone said, "What is your favorite part about playing Simon Z?"
I was thinking, it's the whole being able to understand what it is, what it's like to spend a lifetime devoted to an idea that you could possibly drop in a split second for someone, or for something much bigger than yourself, and being able to just out the window. I'm here now. I have no idea what this is about, but it must be better.
Right.
Especially when it's physical work, and also just like a radical devotion to an ideology and everything. I think that was the most interesting part for me, is to be able to give it all up for someone, and being just seeing that someone in flesh in front of you, that scene with Caleb being, freed from the demon, and that being also when Simon sees Jesus for the first time in person, I think was my favorite moment to shoot and to watch too. So yeah.
So one thing I'm curious about is, so just to be clear for you who are watching, Alaa does all of his own stunts, of course, all of his own martial arts. He's extremely trained, has been doing this for many, many years, did it professionally for many years. So all of that is totally real. And also, quick little bit of trivia for you. Alaa is most likely, not all of the disciples have participated in this race, but he is the fastest runner of the whole group. We did a race after one of our days of and Alaa smoked us all. I actually participated in it. And there's a couple people who are pretty fast who didn't participate in that race. So we'll find out for more. But here's my question for you is,
I didn't know that.
You watched episode 7 when James and John are talking about your character. Where
Yes.
You are doing your warm-ups and your kind of your daily routine. And I was curious, this goes to what I asked Liz as well, this woman who asked, are the actors ever surprised by what they are learning about who they played? So I was curious if that scene for you was interesting, watching 2 other characters talk about your character while you're doing all these moves and warm-ups, and if that was insightful for you, or if that was similar to any research you've done. What's kind of been the most interesting thing about that?
I think, the most interesting part for me is, whenever your character is mentioned by other characters, but he's not there or he's not involved in the scene directly, it's always interesting because it gives you clues to your character that you don't have as, in first person. So it's interesting to hear them talk about the zealots and how I think John says he so wanted to join them. Or no, that's not John. It's Big James. Yeah. I'm getting confused. And that was really interesting because it just just feeds that whole dimension of what the zealots were, or at least for us in our version. And so I don't know. I remember, to me, it was much simpler than that. The day it was just about trying to figure out what to do that wouldn't be anachronistic. But because that was a big matter, I'd say. But then it was interesting to just see what this movement, the Zealots, represented for Jews back then, and just that temptation of just like what we see today with other religions, when we mention the word jihad, and what men think they have to do for God, and it's just like the same stream of devotion, of pure and sincere devotion, directed in the wrong direction, and to see how the two brothers are talking about, like, I thought of joining the movement before, and so that was to me, that was really interesting. Yeah.
So I'll ask one more question, because we've got many other of your fellow actors who are waiting. But just curious, your thoughts on the season finale, and now that you've been able to see the whole season, what did you think as you're watching the episode come to an end?
I joined the live when you were talking with Liz about it, and what Liz was saying about the point of no return is exactly what I thought. It's that big moment of just jumping into the pool of sharks, and knowing that it's that's, it has to happen. It has to happen. But the sweet thing is, you definitely get the idea that we're all in it together. Like the disciples are all kind of supporting Jesus with their looks, and he's going in, and it's that parallel with again the idea of going on stage, and the feeling of going on stage, and how you connect with people behind the curtains before you going on stage is just felt that except that he's not just going to give a show, he's going to change the world, and that's it was very emotional. Obviously, it's so beautiful just to see how it all comes together. And I just wanted to say the music of the show must be one of my favorite things. If we could hear the music on set when we were filming the scenes, I think I'd be overwhelmed. I wouldn't be able to do it. I think it would be too much, because you definitely have to step back into the audience seat. So beautiful, brother. I meant to say, and to use this second to say, I'm really proud of you and everyone in the project, and I wanted to thank everyone, and I also wanted to thank everyone who's watching. It's such a powerful adventure, and I can't wait to get back on set. So
me neither. Well, I love you, brother. And a couple quick comments that people are making. I just wanted you to hear them before I let you go. People are quoting not zealous, but not zealot, but zealous. There's a difference. That's your line that they loved. Someone said, such a beautiful man. Someone sent a bunch of hearts. Someone said he's a sweet zealot. The martial arts training, great to watch. The flips and tricks are amazing. So just so you know, the fans loved you and embraced you from the first episode you were on. So thank you so much for bringing such a beautiful role to our show.
Humble. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Dallas.
All right. Talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Let me see here. This is where it always gets awkward, where we try to, okay, he's good. All right, let me see who we got next. Oh, it looks like Vanessa is here, and it is like way late. So I'm going to bring her in. Noah James has been here for a little bit. Noah, please forgive me. I'm going to bring in Vanessa just because I know it's late at night where she is. Let's see if I can bring her on. Let's see if she's here. There, she's here.
Hello.
Hey there. So
I am like literally ready to go to bed. I'm in my PJs.
what time is it?
Actually, it's same as Alaa. It's one, almost one.
Yeah, and you're in Spain?
I am in Spain. Yes, we're
Okay.
here on vacation. I'm actually at my dad's house in Malaga in the south of Spain.
Okay, so real quick, the audience to know,
Yeah.
is your husband around?
He is, however, he's putting the baby to sleep, which is why I can be here right now.
Because I wanted people to see him because people don't know that you are married to the Pharisee from episode 6, who yells at Jesus and says, if God wanted him to be healed, he'd done it himself. And most people don't know.
Let me see if he's around. I mean, you know, the baby takes a long time to sleep, so maybe she's gone down, but shh, everybody, shh.
Uriah asked me if I've got a haircut. Yes, I did.
They want to see you too.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah. You guys want to see my baby too?
Come here. Come here.
Join the live stream.
There he is.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. I know she needs to go to bed now.
Oh yeah, trying. We're trying.
Hello. All right. Well, good to see you. And I let everyone know this is everybody's favorite Pharisee.
You know what? I was actually going to say something because everybody's been talking about the music for the show, and Olivia loves the Walk on the Water song. She loves it. She dances to it every time we start watching an episode. She starts.
Well, and I know that's awesome. One of my favorite pieces of music is in your husband's scene. Well, you're in the scene too. You're in the synagogue, and and the music just kind of starts kicking in like big things are coming. And
right.
So real quick, there's people who are commenting. I want you to hear this. As soon as you got on, it was Vanessa, all caps, Vanessa with a bunch of hearts. Someone said, someone said, tell Noah to marry me. So that's for someone else.
Okay.
I'll
be sure to pass that along.
Yes, and to his girlfriend as well too.
Exactly.
Catherine says, you are so beautiful as Mother Mary. Vanessa, I love her. Hello, beautiful. Hi, Mother Mary. Spain, España. We love Vanessa as Mother Mary.
Aww.
So, yeah. So
Thank
what
you,
has
everyone.
it been like? I think that's the most common question people have is what it's like for you to portray, and I've asked you this before, but well, you know, a lot of people are here are new, maybe one of the top 3 most famous women in the history of the world, and certainly probably the most beloved woman in the history of the world. I don't know if you knew that, but what's it like?
It's, well, you know, say it's a huge responsibility. It's not, doesn't even come close, but there's something, because I mean, I think there's like this huge responsibility, and then also not a lot of people know what she actually looked like, or, you know, the way she talked, or what her demeanor was. They can only, you know, like, it's an intuition almost, you know, like what they think she must have been like. So that makes it a little easier on me, because it's not like there's like a picture or something in people's minds of how exactly she behaved. And so that leaves a little bit of freedom for me to kind of investigate and find my own version of Mary. So that kind of puts me at ease a little bit. I try not to think too much about all that, but I do I do kind of like put in the center of my portrayal the fact that she is a mother, and that is her life's work.
Yeah.
You know, just as other people, have other talents and put their talents to some other uses. That's her life's work, and I think that because I am a mother, I think I can
Right.
kind of smell what that must be like, and then I just try to kind of try to honor the words on the page, because I mean, I always say this: the writing on the show is impeccable, so it's not only a privilege and an honor to be breathing life into these characters, but also you try to get yourself out of the way, because
Yeah.
the words are already there, and they are already beautiful, and they are a perfect map of what you need to be feeling and what you need to be thinking about, and it just flows.
So I have two questions for you, because there's other actors, some of your fellow actors who are waiting as well. So we won't want to take too much time. But
Yeah.
one of them is, one of the questions that came in was, what was your favorite scene to film this season? And as part of that, that made me think of the question, what did you think when you watched? Because I know two of the scenes that you did that I would imagine were your favorites. Was one when you were around the fire telling the whole story of the birth of Jesus, and then also with Jonathan in the final scene, final episode, when you and Jonathan are talking to each other about missing his father and all of that. I'm guessing it's one of those two scenes that you really loved doing. But what was it like watching it later, different from when you're actually doing it?
I can be very critical of myself. So it's a little, I try kind of like to not listen to that. And it's funny because I was more critical of myself when I watched episode 3, where I was going like, oh, what are you doing with your face? Like all these things. There was so much happening. And I was like, no. But the scene with Jonathan, actually, my inner critic just like, I don't know where it went. I was just living it and even crying with myself, which is like insane. That never happens to me. That really never happens to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, watching yourself is tricky because, you're there. When you are in the moment and you are acting it, I feel like you're feeling all these things, and you hope all that is you're showing all that,
Right. Right.
So
Well, here's a couple of comments just in case you were wondering about that scene. You represent the part so well, Vanessa. Thank you. Love the absolute love you and Jesus show for each other. Your soul shines right through. I love her interactions with everybody. Dina says, best actress ever to portray Mother Mary.
wow.
You are the perfect Mother Mary in every way, said someone else. Vanessa, you are amazing. We all love our Ima Mary. So the way you do her emotions is incredible. Thank you for your beautiful portrayal. So it's just one right after another. And then this brings me to the final question, because several people are saying, oh my goodness, you are so young. So is this your least favorite part of playing Mother Mary, which is the every single day you have to go through at least 2 hours of makeup, which is a great compliment to Patty, who does your makeup, because so many people are shocked when they saw you. They were like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't have recognized you.
Even crew on season 1, I remember just like doing a double take at the rap party, going like, wait, what? Kind of. But yeah, it's insane what Patty does, and how meticulous she is in taking care of my skin, because it's tricky. All the stuff that I have to be pulling, and I have to be like, and it's like literally the thing that they tell you not to do with your skin is exactly what I'm doing with my skin when they put all that makeup on. So I appreciate her and all those things. Yeah, I guess that is my least favorite part. It's actually my least favorite when I have to go home, and then instead of just wrapping and taking off my clothes and going home, I actually have to go back to the makeup chair and take it all off. I think that's because when you get there, it's all part of the jitters and like, ooh, and then, you get to do all this and you're kind of concentrating on, but it's a little tougher when you have to go home.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, everybody is just, the comments are just flowing through about how much they love you.
Thank you, everyone.
It's such a, here's what I want to say before I let you go. Having one of our key actors have to take 2 hours or more in the makeup chair every day is obviously not ideal, because it's such a delay and it's not fun for you, and sometimes it makes us wait. And we always say, everybody says it, it is so worth it. You are such a beautiful actress. You do such a great job, and I'm so glad that we found you when we were casting Mother Mary, and it is just such a joy to have you on the project, and it is worth every single second that you take getting in makeup. I know it's no fun, but it's just there's no one else who could do this role like you do. So thank you so much.
I am, I consider myself lucky. That's another thing that really gets me through those 2 hours. And Patty goes always like, "Oh, you're such a trooper. You never complain." I'm like, because I feel like the luckiest girl ever. I mean, like you said, it just wouldn't make sense to cast someone like me for a role like this. And the fact that I'm there and that I get to play with this writing and these amazing castmates, 3 hours.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa. We'll let you go now. Go
Goodbye,
get some,
everyone.
say hello to your love.
Get some rest, Dallas.
I will try. Good to see you.
Love you.
Yeah, bye-bye. All right, let's try to make this work. I think you're supposed to click the X, Vanessa.
I am? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
X. Bye.
Bye. All right, let's see who's next. Noah was next in line, but I'm going to see if he's still here, because Noah was waiting the longest. Let's see. Noah, and I've got a few more waiting. Just be patient, my fellow lovely actors. I should say my fellow. Noah!
Oh, hello.
Thank you for your patience. I know you were here first, but I got in Alaa and Vanessa because they were.
Oh, it was good to see them all.
Yeah, they're in Spain and Italy, so I thought let's get.
Yes, makes sense.
Yes, and where are you from right now?
I'm in LA. I'm
right.
in Los Angeles. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got people. The moment you came on, we gained like 300 viewers. So, and this is what everyone seems to. Okay, this is funny. These are the comments we're getting. So normally when actors come on, you get like "Oh, hey," and "Good to see you," and they start asking questions. This is perfect for you because this fits your personality. The first 8 comments are Noah in all caps with like 8 exclamation points.
Yes. I love the
loud.
screaming. I love screaming as I arrive. Good.
Yeah, so I see Noah, there he is, love you, all caps. So that's pretty accurate for what we experience on the set when Noah's around. So
yes, I have to warn the sound people. I'm always like, I apologize for my volume.
Yes, and someone else says Andrew with his fabulous hair. So everyone always loves your hair.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah. So have you seen the bloopers yet at the end of episode 8?
I love them so much.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you put, and obviously there were the bloopers from the first season of like getting to the fountain, but then this was a whole, 5 or 6 minutes of bloopers. Yeah, love them. I've already watched it like 3 times.
Yeah, so we've got the season 1 bloopers that we're going to be releasing in the app sometime in the near future. But one of my favorite bloopers, and just if you're watching now and you haven't seen them yet, if you go to the app, at the end of the closing credits of episode 8, the season finale of season 2. We put in some bloopers. And my favorite one is Shahar, when he's talking through, like, at the end of that scene, Shahar would just start ad-libbing, like, all right, I'm going to take over the schedule. And he would start rattling off all the things that they were going to do, because James and John had been trying to run the schedule, and Simon didn't like it. So he says, we're going to stop by the lepers, only a few minutes.
I love it, though, that it starts. He's like, okay, 9 a.m., hit the leper colony, few minutes, head out of there, like, go to the lake. And it's just so funny to imagine, like, we roll up in the van, and we're like, hello, see you later.
Right. Keep up the good work, being away from everybody.
Good luck.
Sorry about the whole thing you're dealing with, but
I love that as he's saying it too, you can see him. There's the I love that look that we actors get sometimes, where you're like, you will have to cut, this won't work. So he's like, 9 a.m. He's like, okay, can't use that, but I'll just keep going. And it just goes downhill from there. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, last episode of the season, I don't remember if you texted me this or if I just saw you post this somewhere. But you said, oh yeah, you texted me this, because you said you were basically hitting your legs at the end of episode 8, like smacking your,
Yeah.
Talk me through that, because people know that you guys are on the set acting these things out, and that you don't, it's hard sometimes as actors to appreciate the show as a viewer.
Mm-hmm.
So talk through watching that final scene. What was it that got you so excited, and what's it like just as an actor watching your show, but from almost from a fan perspective, when you're able to see it and not get swept up in what you were doing on that day?
Yeah, I've been getting better at being less self-conscious and just trying to, but I have to watch it alone first. That's the only way that I like encounter it for the first time with only myself, so I can be like, okay, all right, I've gotten over my kind of watching whatever, I'm doing. Because that's not the way to really, watch the show. Right. Then when I can really sort of see it for the work that everyone has done, and it's such an ensemble cast and crew that it's just it's beautiful seeing everybody's work. And so that final shot of Jesus walking towards the curtains, that gets me. Maybe it gets me also because I'm a theater guy, and I just know that feeling of okay, we're ready to give this to the world. And it captured that so beautifully. And I was really moved by Vanessa and Jonathan's scene, and talking about his father, and then, all right, let's go. And he walks out, and I wanted to say thank you to everyone who was there at the Sermon on the Mount, because a lot of the times people know that it's icy cold when we were filming a lot of this. Be like, wow, you didn't look cold at all on screen. Like, oh, thank you, because afterwards we were, dying afterwards. But you do try, when you yell action, you try to get that away from you and breathe normally. But background, not, whether they were actors or not, whenever background was on camera, no one looked cold. Everyone was there for a purpose. And when Jesus parted the curtains and we saw everyone, and everyone started to sit to prepare to listen to the sermon, that's a really moving moment. And that's why when it ends right there, I'm sure some people are like, I wanted to see more. I thought that was perfect. I thought that was the absolute correct way to finish the season. And the fact that we do hear some of the sermon before, as we're seeing some of the disciples and sort of who he is thinking of as it's sort of coming out. But just ending right there as everyone prepares to hear is, I thought, a beautiful metaphor for what is happening in the show.
Yeah, if we wouldn't have shown some of the sermon earlier in the episode when he's with Matthew, that would have been a cheat, to build up the whole season and then just stop it. But I felt okay about it, because we did show a good chunk of the sermon. So I don't know if you watched the live stream, but after, or if you just watched the episode by itself, but afterwards, we had a guest on, a pastor named Levi Lusko, who was a really great guy, really great pastor. And he said, as the moment I mentioned Andrew's character, he's like, I got beef with Andrew right now.
I saw.
And multiple people have been like, I am so frustrated with Andrew right now. And but I think that's a really good thing, obviously. And Levi said that as well. So I'm curious, your part has been so often the upbeat guy, the very trustful, very faithful. When Jesus asks to do something, you immediately do it. And Simon's kind of more hesitant. And we talked about this, you and Shahar and me, about how you guys are kind of balancing each other. And that started in episode 1, when other than the occasional scenes when you guys were griping at each other, for the most part, if you're up, he's down. If he's wanting to try something, you're wanting to be more cautious. But talk through, from your perspective as an actor, finding that different gear in the second half of this season, where, in my opinion, as we wrote it, John the Baptist's death, or not death, sorry, that comes later, spoiler alert. But John the Baptist's, arrest.
Yeah.
You on a downhill slope and you don't go to Jesus, you just kind of lose it. So just as an actor, what was it like to try to kind of shift gears from who Andrew's been?
Well, first, it was really exciting because that, as an actor, when you get to see, I'm reading the scripts and it starts, the first 4 or 5 episodes are very in line with where Andrew is moving towards, being, cheerful, fun, putting in some one-liners and stuff, which is always lovely. I love doing that. And then seeing some serious kind of freak out moments. Right. I responded really deeply to that, and I wasn't nervous about it. I was excited because to me that made perfect sense. So it was funny seeing Pastor say I have beef with Andrew, because to me I'm like, that makes the most sense. It makes more sense to me to behave the way Andrew did than to be calm and collected, because the stress test of John being arrested and then knowing that word is spreading and the Romans may try to arrest Jesus, and knowing, so in episode 4 saying, we saw the Messiah, anything is possible now, and knowing, wow, I can't wait to give this gift to the world or be part of the spreading of that. And then to think, it's not going the way that we thought, and it actually could be in danger of not happening. It could be in danger of this sermon never going through, or him being sort of taken away from us before the gift could be given. And so that's the most terrifying thing in the world, I think, to Andrew. And so the idea that I would do whatever it takes to make sure that doesn't happen. And then to see the Romans approaching the campgrounds from the water, knowing there's nothing you can do, rushing back and thinking, how did you all let this happen? I would have gone out on my, sword. And so that I just connected really deeply to, and I was happy to be the voice of that tension in the show in those moments, and be the kind of expression of the fear and doubt that obviously isn't the most positive or healthy way to respond, but it is very truthful. I feel like I feel we all have those worries. If someone, gets put in the hospital, or you're waiting for test results on something or whatever, and every moment you're just hoping, and if there's anything you could do, you're like, I would crawl my way there. And so I just really connected to that perhaps unhealthy way of trying to do anything you can instead of the healthier option.
Right, because, and that's the whole conceit of the show, which is that these were normal human beings. And so often they've been portrayed as cardboard characters, or as stained glass window constructions of not real human beings. And so anytime an audience member gets a little uncomfortable with our heroes of the faith being portrayed as struggling, I'm kind of like, okay, good. You should be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I agree. That's good.
Yeah. So we've got like 5 other actors waiting to come on here, so I'll let them come on. But do you have anything, anything you just want to say to the fans? Because I know of all the actors, I'd say you're in the top 5 of people. Just people feel that, I think, the desire to express to you how much they appreciate your performance and your role in the project.
I just want to say that I so appreciate the love and support for the show and for us as performers and crew and everything, and I'm just so moved by the growth of empathy. Anytime that can be sort of fostered and grown, and the community just being so loving with one another and with us, it's just so I'm so thankful to be part of it. I can't thank you enough for bringing me and the rest of us on this journey with the show.
Yep, and just so everyone remembers, not a lot of people know this story, but I'll just let you go with this, which is that Noah, originally I met him because he auditioned for the role of the shepherd in the original Christmas short film that we did. And someone else got the role, but I thought as soon as we started casting The Chosen, I said, I got to go find that guy, Noah James, who was fantastic, and he was right in there. So Noah, I'll let you go here, but just so you know, again, the comments are pouring through. Amazing job portraying Andrew. Thank you so much. Someone said, I always react like Andrew did. So I really did get it. So that was the thing. I think people who struggle with anxiety at times can go, okay, even Andrew struggles with that.
Right.
And then in future seasons, like in season 3, when we show more of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus actually preaches in the sermon, be anxious for nothing. Like he talks about how the birds of the air are taken care of by Jesus. So don't I care about you? So that'll be part of Andrew's journey as well. So that next time, things are only going to get worse. And so it'll be cool.
Yes,
to see,
I know.
Yeah. But
Andrew,
I think it's going to be cool to see, is Andrew going to learn from some of the lessons of how he handled it the first time and be potentially a leader, as opposed to everyone else going like, whoa, he's making us more stressed, you know? So, All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. And I think you're supposed to be the one to click the
Yes.
X.
Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Amber. So now, Amber, I am sending the request. See if this works. Amber Williams, who plays. There she is.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. And look at you in your glasses. They're so cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Blue light glasses.
Yes, I wear blue light glasses now too, like all the time.
It gives you like the best sleep ever. It really does.
Yes, it's really actually made a difference for me. So, where are you coming in from right now?
Well, I am actually not too far from Vanessa, and we're trying to link up. So I'm in Spain right now, currently in Madrid.
And why are you in Spain, Amber?
You know, people usually move abroad for 2 reasons, either work or love. Mine was the latter. So I moved here for love, got swept up by some Spanish dude, and we'll be getting married one of these days.
Yeah. Well, yes, a lot of people didn't know that, but Amber is engaged and is in Spain. So that's why when you called in, I thought I'd forgotten when we texted yesterday, and I thought she might be in Spain too. So it's about 1 o'clock, like 1:20 in the morning, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's about 1:30 almost, but I'm all over the place. You know that, like, so I'll be in New York next month, and so it's just I'm all over the place.
Well, because we're kind of doing, if you've been watching it all, we're doing this kind of quick hit, just asking a couple questions and then letting you go because we got a few actors who are waiting. But I'm just curious, first of all, the return of Tamar in the last just couple episodes came on big, and now she's part of the team and will be with us for a little while at least. You know, we never know how long. Some of our non-biblical characters, you never know. But
you never know. Well, I like to tell people that even though, I mean, because there's lots of Tamars, you know, because a lot of people have the same name, Joseph, James. I'm like, even though this Tamar wasn't named specifically in the big book, that there were tons of people like her in that time. Not necessarily named by name, but there were plenty of Tamars here. And so that's how I kind of like to look at it. So even though it's a bit of creative license, it's also telling the true stories of people who were there at that time and who had this, I mean, think of all these incredible stories of ladies who touched the cloth and just people who believe. And I think she was one of those somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we oftentimes, when I announced that we were doing this Instagram live, some people said, well, I know you're having actors on, but you should have some fans on as well. And I thought, I am bringing some fans on because Amber, you were from what I've seen in some of your other interviews, a chosen super fan from the beginning. So I'm curious, just from your perspective, watching season 2, like when I think of you, I think, I hope Amber really liked it because she came in as a fan before she came in as an actress in the show. So did you like season 2? Did you like the last 2 episodes?
I absolutely love the last two episodes. And every time I watch a show, and I'm going to tell you guys, and I hope none of the other projects I worked on are watching this right now, but I don't always follow along with things that I've done or continue to watch after my work is over. Literally, The Chosen is the only thing that I have seen every single episode. Episodes I'm not in, episodes before I even got on the show. And like me and my fiance are there. And he's like, "You didn't watch it without me, did you?" And I'm like, "No, of course I didn't catch it on the live." And so it's really incredible. And even though I know these beautiful people who play these amazing characters, it's like watching, it's kind of surreal because I'm watching them on screen and just kind of forgetting that I know them personally and just being just as involved in the story as the fans are. And so I think I had seen maybe one episode, and then I got the call from my agent and she's like, "Yeah, The Chosen." I'm like, "You know what? I think I've seen that or heard of it." Watched all the episodes and I was like, "You need to get me on there yesterday. Please do whatever you have to do." And I think a lot of people don't know, but I initially auditioned for Fatina.
Yeah, the woman at the well.
Yeah, so you have to tell me what happened between there. But I do know that I felt so incredibly blessed because the call came pretty quickly. I think I did an audition, then got requested to do Tamar like maybe the next week. And then the next thing I know, they were like, "Okay, you got it." I was like, "I will fly my behind from Madrid to Dallas just to do this." That's how much I love this show. That's how much I wanted to be a part of this project, is that I footed just because, I thought it was for the episode and I was so excited and just honored. I flew all the way to Dallas. So I didn't make any money. I didn't make any money for the first season, and that was okay with me. That's how much I believed in the project.
Well, that's awesome. And you've been such a great addition to the cast. And we always like to, when we're putting the cast together, it's like almost like an orchestra. And you're like different instruments. Each person plays a different instrument, and you absolutely bring a different instrument to the show. And I'm first of all, we're getting so many comments, just people saying, "You are so beautiful, so wonderful. Thank you so much. We love your courage." Everyone talks about Tamar's courage and faith. I mean, you play a strong woman in this show. And so that's the main question I want to ask you, is your thoughts on Tamar, and are there differences between you and Tamar? But I think multiple people have asked, like, the difference between you and your character. What about playing Tamar has been interesting for you?
I think I've said this before, if anyone's ever seen any of the interviews that I've done, is that everyone needs a friend like Tamar. I say this all the time. Everyone needs a friend like Tamar. And if you don't have a friend like Tamar, then you need to be a Tamar. Because that is just an incredible person to have in your roster at all times. I think I would be, lacking all kinds of humbleness or modesty if I said that I was like Tamar. I strive to have some of the characteristics and traits that she has, and honestly, because one of my mottos is faith, and so it was just really funny how that ended up being my scene, and Jesus telling Tamar that her faith is beautiful, because I've spent the past 8 years stepping out on faith, having no idea what's going to be coming next, and that's been dictating every next move that's been going on in my life. So if there's anything that I did have in common with her, it's that, because just like Andrew, Amber, me, I have anxiety, and that has no place in my life, and the way that I best kind of attack that is just to step out on faith, because I always say that when you have the choice between doing what's safe and what's comfortable and stepping out on faith, you want to always step out on faith, because that's where the most beautiful things, and that's where all the magic lies. I would never be here now if I decided to do what would make me comfortable, if I didn't decide to trust in the process, to trust in God. I had to ask for discernment, because you're asking for all of these signs. God sent me a sign, right. And often He's sending you all the signs, and you're just thinking, "Wow, my life is just really hard right now. Why?" And it's often, I decided, the way I translated that is that we often spend a lot of time getting signs, but we just can't interpret them. It's like you speak Greek, but the signs are coming in Chinese. But you're getting the signs. So when you ask for discernment, it's really to help you to understand what it is. And so that was my big girl prayer that I made that allowed me to more easily embrace faith. And God, it's such a long answer for a simple question. That's what I feel like I have in common with Tamar.
No, that is awesome. It really is. And as you were speaking, I mean, again, the comments just coming through. Someone just said, "Thank you so much for sharing this. I struggle with anxiety too." That's one of the great things about the show is how many people say, because I'm seeing these followers of Jesus have struggles or have issues or have strengths that I can learn from, I can identify with it. And so that's one of the cool things. And it's fun when I think of Tamar's journey. She goes to Jesus, gets her friend healed, and then she starts telling everybody. I mean, Tamar, she's breaking through ceilings in season 1, and then she's doing it again in season 2. Like they're like, "Hey, stop, stop, stop." She's like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean stop?"
Like a woman of all people, this Ethiopian woman, this pagan, because, she isn't Jewish. And it's just like how, and it just goes to show how much of an impact just Jesus had on those who weren't even thinking of following him or even knew who he was. And that's just as relevant today as well. And I don't know, I was really excited about that because in season 2, especially in season 8, because my fiance told me, he was like, the thing I loved about Tamar for episode 8, was that she got to be happy for a little bit. Like, she was smiling and she was making jokes, and she was able to live in another vein of who she was, because she is a fighter. And she's like, "No, I'm not a child. You're not going to tell me that I can't spread the word." And she just got a chance to feel, I guess, just at peace. This is the first time you see her at peace, and that's when she's literally the closest to Jesus. And that's when she's there at camp. And I thought that was a really nice metaphor, whether it was intentional or not.
Absolutely. Well, Amber, you give such a beautiful performance, and we're writing right now season 3 and working out the scripts, and we got some fun stuff planned just for you to, now that you're part of the group, now that you've got a family to be with.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you more in future seasons. So I'm going to let you go just because we've got other actors coming on. But thank you so much for coming in from Spain at 1:30 in the morning. So
thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for your support.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So there's an X. Yeah, there you go. All right. Let's see who's next. Got Austin, got a few more here, and then we will let you go. This is Austin, who should be coming on in just a second, who plays Nathaniel, another newcomer to the cast. Nathaniel. Oh, I said Nathaniel. Sorry, Austin. Austin, thanks so much for coming on, man. Where are you calling in from?
New York City.
Yeah, Austin is one of our New York folks. So first things first, I have not talked to you a whole lot since the debut of episode 2 of this season, which was in many ways, the Nathaniel episode. And I heard from so many people, I mean, just countless people. We saw videos of people crying. We saw people writing long essays about how much your performance and your character ministered to them and spoke to them because of how many people could identify with having their dreams crushed. And you and I spoke on the set when we were filming that day, where you were under the fig tree, and I shared with you that your character, the storyline was based a little bit on mine, where I had done a lot of things for God, and then they all kind of came crashing down, and I wondered what was next. I'm wondering 2 things. One is, have you felt that as well? Have people been contacting you and thanking you for your performance and expressing how much they love the episode? And then 2, just as an actor, were you able to identify with Nathaniel in some way?
Yes, to both of those. I've gotten tons of messages, especially after that episode, from people all around the world, which was so surprising. And I've never had something like that before in my life. And I'm just really happy that it's spoke to people and done good. I absolutely have had those moments, and I feel like everyone has, some point in their lives, and us as artists, it happens all the time, maybe more than most people, because you know, as an actor, you get told no a lot.
Right.
And you get told no for projects that you really, really thought were going to happen, and that might change your life, or just big opportunities that you got really close to, you put your all, and then you didn't
Right.
get it. And acting also is like such a weird art form because it's strangely like human. So when you get that no, it feels almost personal in some ways. And I know I know it's not, but it does. You can't help but feel that way. So
Yeah.
I've been there a lot. So
Yeah.
definitely. And when you so that day when we were filming that scene at the fig tree, you know, I was really unfocused. I was struggling, you know, with all the different elements, the cold and the business that we had him doing, and the special effects thing. I just was unfocused, and I wasn't able to give myself, you know,
Right.
to the moment that like I wanted to and had been prepping for. And so you just kind of pulled me aside, you talked to me, and so I thank you, because if you wouldn't have done that, I don't know if we would have gotten the performance that we see. But it just really hit me because I had no idea the scope of that this moment of Nathaniel was based on you. And also what you said was that, you know, thousands, hundreds of thousands people around the world that watch this moment, they will all be able to compare it to their moment. And I just had not thought about that until right then. And so the moment kind of became bigger than me, and I don't know what got it. I don't know what got to me, but yeah, once after that, I was able to just take a breath and go sit back down, and we were able to shoot the scene. So thank you for that.
No, no, thank you. You gave such a great gift to the show. So many comments pouring in as you came on. People just yelling your name, Austin. Austin, love Nathaniel. He has such a tender heart. Love Austin's portrayal of Nathaniel. You guys are amazing. Favorite episode was episode 2. Hi, Austin. Loved your performance under the fig tree. And then this is beautiful here. The fig tree was so healing to watch.
Good.
I love that scene. We can all relate to feeling that way.
Good.
Lady Vader says it impacted her greatly. So my last question, just because we've got other actors that we're trying to get in here, is just what your thoughts were once it was all done, just being able to watch the season. You had a little moment yourself in the season finale, kind of Nathaniel being Nathaniel, saying like this is repellent and that's not very friendly. All those, you know, we portray Nathaniel as a great shooter, but were you able to watch it? Were you able to step out of it a little bit and watch it just as a viewer and enjoy the final episode?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a fan of the show, you know, myself, just watching, and I have a bunch of friends and family that love the show as well. And I was going to say with the fig tree moment, you know, at the end of the episode, he meets Jesus and he invites him to follow him, and he says, "Would you like to build, you know, build more things, and even in a more meaningful way?" And I mean, I feel like in some ways that's what this project was for me as well, because you know, you get knocked down a lot, and then I booked this, and it's been one of the best things I've ever gotten to do in my life, because all my life I've always wanted to act and tell stories and do stuff with talented people and tell great stories, and so it's finally happening. And you know, when you know, you cast us for season 2 to come on board, it was like in the midst of the pandemic, and so a lot of the actors, you know, I don't know about Alaa or Yoshi or Luke, but for me it was just like we had done nothing for months and months at a time, and I had no idea when I would get to act again, and then it came. So in a lot of ways this role mirrors itself, but yeah, absolutely. I just want to say congratulations to you as well, because I could never do what you do. I don't know how you do it. You are the leader of this ship, and it's been such a pleasure to watch. So thank you.
It means a lot, brother. Final comment here. I'm just going to read to you. Austin, your role is amazing, emotional and hilarious and awesome at the same time. Terrific work. Congratulations. So I love you, brother. I can't wait to see you in season 3.
Thank you.
And I'm going to let you go just because we've got a few more actors I want to get in here before I go to dinner with my wife here. So
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Yep. Talk soon, brother.
Take care.
All right. We have got a unique guest here coming for you. This is Sean. Let's see if Sean can come on. I just sent the request there he is. So this is the man who, it's got to be fun playing a role where almost every time that your character is discussed online, it's with vitriol and anger. And in fact, we're considering putting together a shirt that says, "Don't be a Shmuel." So this is Sean Sharma, who plays Shmuel, which is fun to say. But and you know what, everyone, as soon as you came on, Sean, I just want to say, first comment, love Shmuel. Hi, Sean. Yes. Shmuel with all caps. Another one says, our Shmuel. And then, of course, Suzanne says, boo. So I just want to say real quickly that I mentioned this to Brandon Potter, who plays Quintus, that one of the great marketing and storytelling entities of all time is professional wrestling. I don't happen to be a huge fan myself, but it's just they understand good versus evil and bad guys and good guys, and it's so important to have an opposing force to your hero who actually can match in some ways your hero, whether it's in acting ability or whether it's in quickness, intelligence, passion. Talk through what it's like playing a man who you know, and you and I talk about this all the time, doesn't wake up in the morning trying to be bad. He really genuinely believes in what he's doing. So just talk through that real quick about playing a character who is the antagonist, is the opposing force to the hero, but who at the same time is a human being with real motivations.
Well, I think it's really hard to be. It's impossible to be perfect, like it's only that's for the Lord alone. Like that's for Jesus. For the rest of us, we're trying to break out of our, belief systems whenever it's possible that we may be in error. And you're not going to get the information about where you could be going wrong from your friends because they don't have the same incentive to tell you that, hey, you may be wrong. So as hard as it is to be critiqued, it's your critics that will point out to you how you can do better, and it's worth looking at. So when I look at a role like Shmuel, it's really fun and I really owe you a lot of gratitude for the freedom to bring my interpretation to the character, because the conversations we've had have been about not wanting it to be so easy to see Shmuel as just an evil character, because there's many people in our lives, or we have been at times in our lives, or in certain places we still are in certain aspects of our lives, resistant to change because it goes against what we've always been told to believe. So I feel like Shmuel stands in for everybody who finds it really tough to break out of the belief system that they've been told to believe or born into. And it could be right. I mean, Shmuel believes that his system is right. And sometimes our beliefs that we were born into or that we're convinced of are correct, but sometimes they're not. And so, Shmuel might not be right on this one.
Right. Well, and that's the key, is that Shmuel's biggest flaw isn't his passion and isn't his devotion to God's word. Is that he's not asking the right questions. He's closed off. He's decided he knows everything there is to know, and he's not willing. I mean, his teacher Nicodemus is trying to tell him to ask more questions, and he's like, "No, I'm done." And that's his fatal flaw. So before I let you go, I'm sorry that we're kind of keeping these quick, just because we've got so many other people who are coming on. But I'm just curious what you thought watching now season 2 and seeing Shmuel's growth as a leader. Clearly he's got lots of different shades to his character, but just for you as a fan of the show, because I know you've talked about that before, just watching the season 2 as a whole, what were some of your thoughts just as it came into it?
Obviously in season 2 the world just explodes open. It's just like this gigantic gorgeous scenery, beautiful, huge set pieces, diversity of locations, all these new characters, all the stuff with the Romans that's taken a whole new aspect with, with Elijah. And so it's been so fun to see what started as just a little Capernaum like little thing. And now it's like, we've got this whole world at our fingertips. And so that's been really fun. And also, in season 1, I was kind of Nicodemus's sidekick for most of the, or I guess Eric Avari's sidekick. I was basically like his little Indian buddy. And now this time with season 2, I've got a brother. I've got Wasim, and he and I are able to, go through this experience together, which is, I couldn't ask for a better partner in him with Yanni. So when I've watched this whole season, I've just been so excited about seeing the world expand and to let people into more of the stories of the characters of the time. And so I'm happy as a clam.
Well, one of the great things we hear about the show that makes us very proud is, especially from scholars and from people who really have studied the Bible a lot or studied history a lot, how much they appreciate seeing this side of the story portrayed, because almost every production you've ever seen, the Pharisees or the religious leaders come on, they're angry, they're bitter. You don't see any of the background. You don't see any of their thoughts. So you have given such a nuanced, layered performance that has brought humanity to people that don't oftentimes, have humanity brought to them. And you're going to be around for a while. We've got big plans for Shmuel for the next few seasons, so I can't wait to do it with you. But the most important question that we got from someone coming in was, someone said, Treasure in Jars of Clay, that's their name, said, can we have Shmuel's skincare routine? So I'm going to let you go here, but real quick, is there a moisturizer you would recommend?
Just never go outside ever.
Words to live by. Words to live by. All right. Well, thank you, Sean, so much for coming on, brother. I love you, and I can't wait to see you again.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Talk soon. Bye-bye. All right. Just a couple more here. I'm going to bring on Giovanni. Jordan, I know you're waiting, but you did an Instagram live yesterday, so I'm gonna have you on later, some other time. Giovanni.
Hey, brother.
Thaddeus is going to come on, and little James, you're just going to have to wait because Jordan did his own Instagram live yesterday.
Yeah, put him on the wait list.
Yes. So, hey, brother, good to see you. Where are you coming in from? You in Michigan right now, or are you in LA?
I'm back in Michigan with the family. I was in LA training for a few weeks, but I'm back with the family, enjoying time with them. So
good.
Yeah, man.
Good, man. So first question is just, now that the season is over and you look back on it, Thaddeus had a couple of moments, which is what we always like to give Thaddeus each season, is kind of this kind of quiet sage, comes in, drops a few, subtle truth bombs like you did in season 1. And this season it was your time with Matthew, especially, where you just were able to kind of bring him some tenderness that he wasn't getting from anyone else. But just overall, what were your thoughts when you saw the season finale, just reflecting back on season 2?
Wow. Yeah, it was waves of emotion, just not only because of, what we knew went on, like, behind the scenes and as we were filming it as actors and as a family, but just seeing it all put together, I got chills, man. There was so many different emotions going on, and a couple of the other castmates, they said the same thing. It's kind of like there's no going back now. One of the fans, actually, the other day, I saw them. They did a split screen between the ending of season 1 and the ending of season 2, and they were going on at the same time. And I just remember getting chills watching it after season 1, and it's just so beautiful. I'm excited to already read the scripts and see where we go from here.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun coming ahead. So just when you came on, here's some of the comments we started to see. All caps, hi Giovanni. Rad Thad, which I'm going to get back to that in a second. Giovanni, hi, hello, love Rad Thad. There he is. Noah James said, dude, fatty. Dude. Yeah, I don't even want to know what that means. Jordan Ross said, I see how it is, which, yeah, Jordan, you did your own Instagram live, brother. You can wait. We'll talk to you some other time. I absolutely love Thaddeus, such a peacekeeper. Which I think is totally true. And I think when we showed in the final episode, when Jesus is giving the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, and he's saying, blessed are the meek, and he kind of shows the tenderness of you and little James. which I think was really beautiful to see. So real quick, what is Rad Thad? Where did that come from? I feel like I remember George started saying that.
Yeah. So
What's Rad Thad from?
it's definitely, George definitely started that. So when we were reading the scripts, and there was the moment to where I believe in episode 1 where, you know, James and John are trying to take kind of control of the group, and he was reading in the script. We hadn't got to the scene yet, and he was, oh, I see George commenting on there, but he was like, you kind of give me some sass in this episode by saying don't argue. I'm like, yeah, I should. Yeah. And then we just started messing around, like, behind the scenes. Like, I would take his name off the trailer door, and he'd be making Instagram live videos being like Rad Thad, you know, he's the troublemaker. So we've had some fun with that, and I'm glad it caught on with some of the fans.
Yeah, I mean, just so many comments, just Rad Thad, Rad Thad, Rad Thad. So it's great. Yeah, because how we looked at it was on The Office, Michael Scott, how much he hated Toby became like, but you like John is Michael Scott and you're Toby, and every time you're around, like John just hates having Thaddeus around because of that one comment where he's just like, so don't argue.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so many comments about how much you loved. So I appreciate that. I'm gonna let you go here in just a second, just because we gotta.
Of course.
Hey, my wife is waiting for me. My wife is waiting for me to go to dinner, and this thing got a little long, but I'm so glad to have you on. So, but just real quick, do you have a comment just to the fans about all the support you've received? Because I know you're.
Yeah.
You know, I like to say this to people. You and Jordan play characters who were intended from the beginning to be. Kind of in the background a lot, not because they're less important, but because we kind of created their personalities as younger, more tender, more willing to let others lead, but they're just going to be loyal followers. And so it takes a measure of patience and humility and grace for both of you to play characters who don't get quite as much screen time, but when you do, it brings such a unique vibe to everything else, because everyone else is always just arguing and yelling. And so because of that, you guys have become fan favorites in many ways, because they're like, those guys are so trusting and so tender. So is there something you'd like to share just with the fans before I let you go there?
Yeah, I mean, I echoed it a little bit yesterday on Jordan's Instagram Live, but we can't, I mean, this doesn't happen without you guys. And I mean, just the outreach of support and kindness that you guys show, it means the world to us, more than you know. Like, you can't even put it into words, and we love you guys. And yeah, it's speechless.
Yeah, man. Well, I love you, brother, and I can't wait to see you in season 3. We're already writing in a couple, Rad Thad moments, and there's a scene, not to give any spoilers away, but that you and little James have that's gonna a lot of people are gonna love. So I'm looking forward to that. But thank you for coming on. I'm gonna let you go here and bring on a couple more, but. Always love talking to you, my brother.
Love you too, my brother, and safe travels, and thank you for everything you and Amanda and the crew do, man. You guys work so hard, and we're so blessed to have you.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk soon.
See you, brother. Bye.
All right. I'm gonna bring on 2 or 3 more people here. This is Abe the Bane.
What's up, Dallas?
So this is, you had no doubt the toughest job of anybody this year, coming in, A, as a newcomer to the cast, but B, replacing someone, two people who, primarily Kian, who had played Big James in the second half of season 1, who had given a beautiful performance and was a beautiful guy and had some family struggles that didn't allow him, a health crisis that didn't allow him to do it. But you came in and just fit in so quickly and brought such a beautiful spirit to both the cast, but also to the show. Can you just talk real quick about that? Just looking back on season 2, just looking back on your performance and on the show, it happened so fast. You just were like, boom, 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 boom. What's it like just now that it's done, now that the season's over?
Much like the year that we had, there were so many things that you just had to adjust on the fly. So I think the pandemic sort of prepared me to make decisions on the fly, and I was already making decisions on the fly. Nonetheless, still a challenge, but as some people have seen, as I've shared on my page, I definitely had the most support that I could have asked for. At no point, you know, and I'm a bit of a tough guy. I like to pretend like, you know, like I'm not really I'm not really behind the ball, and when I am sometimes. But I had you, you know, Jonathan, George, of course. Like George, I think the second that I landed, got a text from George. Was like, let's run some lines, and I was like, amazing, let's go. So there was a lot of that, but more importantly, I think that you know, my ambition was to portray a multifaceted James, because I felt that that was already on the page. So to bring, you know, my truth to that, and see how much I had in common with Big James and how much I was going to have to work for.
Yeah. So when you watch the episode, like the season finale, was it bittersweet, you know, seeing it come to a conclusion? Like, what'd you think? And just as a viewer, I'm always kind of nervous as the filmmaker. Like, I'm like thinking like, gosh, I hope the actors like the final product, you know, because you guys worked so hard to get it there. But then I always hear from you guys, you know, so supportive. But what did you think just watching the season finale?
Oh man, I love the season finale, the ending. I'll give this. Yeah, the ending was like watching what I had just gone through. Because like yes, you're watching flashbacks from episode 1, episode 2, and I'm watching and digesting everything that I have just done as I'm watching every one of those scenes go through as he's talking and thinking of those disciples. I love the ending. I was initially confused in the beginning of episode 8, but then I realized it was like the chaos editing, and then I was like, brilliant. So there's some great filmmaking that's happening that really matches with the tremendous actors that you've chosen. Tremendous.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm so glad that you're part of it. And, you know, you're such a beautiful addition to the show. Real quick, I want to share that several people are commenting on your hair. What is your secret? Give a quick hair tip.
Diet. That's it. Diet and exercise, man. You don't need to put too much stuff in it. Just eat right.
Yeah.
Dallas, I just want to say, man, thank you so much for your leadership. Without getting too sappy, and I know you have to get to dinner, so I'm going to do you a favor and take myself out of this. But before I do, I just want to say I love you very much. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for believing in me. Most people don't know, but Dallas searched far and wide to find me because I was kind of going through my own reality check during the pandemic. Thank you. You were there for me, and I'm going to be there for you. Love you, brother. I'm going to X out now.
I love you too, brother. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. We're going to do 2 more and then just because I've got to get going here in just a second, but George is our other thunder, our little thunder, as Simon calls him. Hello. There he is. Hey, brother, where are you coming in from?
Oh my God, I can't even hear it. I might actually have to put my headphone in. Technical, I can't hear you. Hey, Dallas.
Oh man, so pathetic.
Now, is that working?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, perfect. There we go. Now we're in.
All right.
Oh well, snuck up on me.
Yes.
How's it going?
Good. So all the comments coming in immediately. Little Thunder, George, everyone's so excited. George, my Aussie friend. Little Thunder. Yeah, you're Little Thunder now, man. Sorry.
I'll take it. That's okay. Hey, Abe's a lot bigger than me.
Yeah.
And I know the order of operations. Yeah. So and I'm happy to be Little Thunder to Abe's Big Thunder. So
we have a very important question in from a guy by the name of James Noah James. He asks, "Are you Australian?" with 3 exclamation points.
I love how it's an exclamation. It's not, is it a question? It's just, are you Australian?
Yes.
Yes, I am Australian. I am. That's so
from
that fan. I can confirm.
Yes,
I can confirm I am Australian.
And then Ryan Swanson, who is our head writer, who I'm going to bring on here in just a second, asks, "Are you in a pawn shop?"
In a pawn shop? No, I'm in a sushi restaurant.
Okay.
So a prawn shop.
Oh, yeah, very nice. Very nice. So, because my wife is waiting to go to dinner here, real quickly, thoughts on season 2. You started us off, man. The beginning of season 2 seems like yesterday, but you were, you started and finished the first episode of the season. And I'm just curious, just as an actor, what were your thoughts watching it now from a distance, just as a viewer, on the whole season?
I've always said, so firstly, it was a huge honor to be able to do that in the first episode, and I had so much fun with it. And it's not an easy thing to do in that episode, but I found myself working in the moment. So when you are working in the moment, it's instinct, and that feels easier in the moment. You're stressed beforehand because you're like, what's going to happen? But the great thing about watching the show is that I watched the show as a fan. So, and then my friends working and experience, and I just watched I watched the finale literally just before I've come on. I watched it this morning, and it was spectacular. It was incredible.
Yeah. Well, you are you've built this character now that people are so connected to, and I'm curious because I'm gonna bring on one more guest here in a second, so I'll let you go here in just a minute. But I'd love to hear what you're hearing from fans. Have you been hearing from viewers who appreciate your performance? What's that been like? And do you have anything you'd just like to share with the viewers before I let you go here?
Yeah, it's I've got a lot of people saying that because I think John has written, some of the most important words in the gospel. So I think a lot of people go into the show going, I love John, and then they can't put a face to the name. And so that's kind of been the biggest compliment to me, is that they are going into the show, John's been their favorite. And then I've been able to do that character justice, like you said, the character has been created, and that's credit not only, to the actor, but it's also to the writers and creators of the show. So I think John has become this, and it's very similar to me. We've talked about this before, Dallas, as well. Like he's emotional and instinctive and passionate, but passion, when channeled for righteousness, is a good thing. So that's kind of where John has ended up. And so I'm not sure what we'll see from John. Maybe he'll still afford himself some passionate moments and emotion, but I think he'll always find himself in the right place. So that's been the feedback I've been receiving, and I've been so honored by that I can live up to those expectations, basically. Yeah.
Well, we'll close with this. Do you have anything you'd like to share? Oh, hello there. Oh my goodness. That's Tyler.
I just got your text. Like when I was meeting up with George, he was like, "You should get on a live," and I'm like, "I'm gonna be with George, so maybe we'll say hi."
Oh,
we got together to reunite socks that we lost. I found his sock like in a dryer in Weatherford, and it took me 7 months to get it back to him. So here we are. Sushi and socks day.
It's an inside joke.
It's a really long story.
Loads of fans know about the reuniting of the sock.
Fans have been wondering when the socks are going to get back together. So here they are.
There's so many disturbing directions I can go with that, but I'm just going to leave it alone. Tyler, lean in real quick. So Tyler is one of the 3 writers of the show. So it's Tyler and Ryan, who I'm bringing on in just a second, and myself. Tyler, while you're with George, talk about writing for actors now that you know their voices and their faces, because when we first wrote season 1, we didn't have faces or voices or actors in mind. What's it like? Because Tyler is the one who writes the first draft of each of the scripts. And what is that like? When you're writing for George, knowing he's going to be portraying John, the character, for example, that you're writing?
Well, I mean, it just goes so much faster because, like we said, we know what he sounds like. We know how tall he is. We know about his physicality, his body language, or whatever. But so I don't forget about everybody, I have like little cards of them that I put all around my desk so I can sort of like look into their eyes and be like, would these words make sense in this person's mouth or whatever? I also have the cards because there's so many of you now that I'll lose track, and then somebody won't get a line or whatever. So I'm always like, I position everyone all over my desk like it's the scene. Akis never puts them where I put them, but they're at least arranged on the page. So yeah, it's just really helpful. And then just times like these, like hanging out in town and just like listening to people's own stories and stuff even just kind of helps us as we sort of fuse like what those characters and the way that they brought them to life, how that feels. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I will let both of you go here in a second, but George, so many comments coming in while I was talking to you about how much they appreciate your performance. And I think you bring so many, not I think, I know, you bring so many shades to this character, not only raw passion, but also leadership, because John, even in episode 8 and is oftentimes channeling that passion into leadership. And so it's been just a joy working with you. I love you, and I cannot wait to bring you back for season 3. We've got some fun things planned ahead for John.
Oh, thank you so much. No, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much, and also to Tyler and to Ryan for everything. Thanks. It's a real pleasure, and it's great to work with you and everybody. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.
See ya.
All right, Ryan. I'm going to see if Ryan is here. We're going to update on season 3. Ryan.
Am I in? I'm in.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you're in.
Hi. I was sure he was in a pawn shop until Tyler showed up. It was like, there's no way he's not in a pawn shop right now, and those bottles are valuable for sale. And he was, I was like, he's moonlighting. Thank you for bringing me in. We squeezed out some real talents for it, and it's hard to follow up. Everybody looks so good. Everybody looks so good, right?
I know. I'm gonna say this to you because I'm saying it about myself. When you bring in that many people with extraordinary hair, it's a bit, and now it's just you and me.
I know. It's like, hey, you look great. You look really good. You went from like a 7 to an 8 or better.
Right.
We all kind of go backwards.
And they're like, you look like writers.
You guys got a face for writing. Good work.
Exactly.
Picked well.
All right. So the comments are coming in as you just joined. Hello, Ryan. Hi, Ryan. All caps. Hi, Ryan. Hi. Hello,
hey, everybody.
You are just amazing. You are the perfect team. So lots of comments. So Amanda, who, by the way, some people don't know this, Ryan, who is the head writer on The Chosen, he's an executive producer, co-writer with Tyler, who you just saw, Tyler, myself, and Ryan. And Ryan was actually my wife's, Sadie Hawkins' date in high school. That's how far back they go. And she's waiting for me to go to dinner. So you know more than anybody that I've got someone great to go to in here in just a second. Yes. So, but we do want to close our live stream with just a couple updates on season 3. So we're not going to, let's not give spoilers, but as our head writer, why don't you just share with the viewer what can they expect in season 3? Because we're working through the scripts right now. What's kind of the big picture? What can they expect?
So big picture. So we're starting, we're in the second part of the year of expansion. The year when the ministry takes off, and I think we can both put some of our own experience with the show into those moments. We're imagining a lot of huge Bible moments. I mean, almost too many to work around. Where our white space is like, we're just like packed with moments where big things happen. And you remember, like when we started this,
Real
we
quick,
talked about
real quick, white space. What do you mean by that?
On the page, we're always managing white space, right? Like if a page is too dense with too many words, it's hard to read, and it takes longer than 1 minute per page. That's our guideline. So if we have a 55-page script, we know it's going to be just under an hour. But so we want to manage white space. We're sort of doing that with our content. We've got so many huge moments, and we want to let each one of them breathe. And that was something we really worked on the retreat we went on recently. To get these things to the place where our audience deserves them to be, and where they pass muster with you. So I would say that people are in for a real roller coaster ride, and they're going to see some of their favorite moments imagined in a new way, in a way that's exciting and brings people back to the Bible to read about them as they actually happened. So we'll do our best to interpret those moments, and in the middle, give a lot of context for what these moments mean to the people they're happening to.
Yeah.
So we got some super exciting stuff.
Yeah, we've got some, the fans make sure they let us know whenever they are looking for a specific story. And there have been a few top 5 stories that we hear about the most often. And I can tell you that at least one of them will be in season 3. So I want to close with this, Ryan. Karen Betancourt 1238. I don't think that's the year she was born, but it is the number. Says, I love your writing and I love your story and vulnerability. Thank you for your realness. And what she's referring to is, if you're watching right now and you haven't seen this yet, go back to episode 6 on YouTube. It says the Come and See Show. This is the post-episode interviews and conversations that we did. And I did a conversation with Ryan and Liz Tabish, who plays Mary Magdalene, discussing Mary Magdalene's storyline, which is about how she relapses and goes back to alcohol as a comfort. And Ryan shared his personal story of alcoholism, and in many ways it was a tragedy at the time that turned into great triumph. And now he is bringing you so many incredible words that are changing the world. And it came like words that are blessing people and changing their lives that came out of that pain that you experienced. So I would just want to say that to you as a brother to you, to say I love you and thank you for being vulnerable, but also for going through what you went through and coming out of it, because you coming out of that is blessing the world.
Oh man, thank you so much. I did nothing to deserve any of this except shove vodka down my face, and I surrendered, and God put us in touch, and every day is a blessing. Every day I'm lucky to be here, and I can't wait to keep going with season 3 stuff. It's going to be so exciting. I love seeing our cast today. Thank you for setting this up, man, and thank you for your leadership always.
Of course. Yeah. And how many years sober are you now?
10 years. God willing, August will bring 11. So it will be the
awesome. Yeah, awesome. Someone said, make sure you guys keep up the funny moments. So those will continue in season 3. We always want to work that in. But just real quick before I let you go here, just the comments. The storytelling has been incredible. Such a unique viewpoint. Thank you so much to everyone. All you guys are doing. Such amazing writing. Someone says, can you please give a shout out to Maggie? So hello, Maggie. Thank you for sharing so much of yourself personally on the chat with Dallas and Liz after episode 6. Awesome. That's perfect. Great writing. So anyway, you're very loved and appreciated by the fans, and thank you so much, brother.
It's reciprocated. Thank you. Thank you, man. Go say hi to Amanda for me.
I will. I'm going to go be with my wife because we're moving to Texas tomorrow, and we got to get out of here. But I will talk to you soon, brother. Love you so much.
Be safe. Okay. Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you to the viewer. Thank you for being here. And this is the awkward spot where Ryan tries to leave.
Try to log off. I'm just going to shut the phone off completely.
I think there's there you go. He's still there. Now I'm just seeing his forehead. Either way, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And we'll post this for good, and you can go back and check out all the other interviews. But I love you, and keep up the prayers. We need them. We're moving to Texas tomorrow, and we're exhausted. And that requires so much, just so much energy and stress, but we're trying to get our way through it. So thank you so much. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Remember, it is not your job to feed the 5,000. It is only to provide the loaves and fish. Oh, or I just lost Ryan. God bless you. Bye-bye. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to do this real quick. Surprise, if you stuck around. Guys.
Oh, wait. Are we still there?
I was literally logging off.
Did I miss it?
I'm literally logging off. Amanda is waiting. So I'm going to take like 45 seconds with you. But I was literally about to log off when I saw your video request, and I thought, all right, we'll give the fans a quick surprise.
Just wanted to say hello. I was just shooting. I couldn't get here any sooner. So hello, everybody. Hello, Dallas. Good to see you, man.
You too, brother. So real quick before we go.
Hi, Aspen.
Yes, so many people coming on, commenting.
We got a whole other hour to do.
Yes. So real quickly, because I do have to go, but can you just share with the viewer your thoughts on season 2 and your thoughts on how the fans express themselves to you and how your work is blessing them?
It has been unfathomable, the response, the love, the support. I'm just so blessed to be a part of this whole journey. I think the beginning and the end of season 2 and then everything in between just really presented such a strong and powerful season and look into Jesus's ministry and the they're very, very intriguing storylines with all these new characters, these characters that we've just met along the way this season, and I can't wait to see where it all goes. Can't wait to get those scripts. So
We're
yeah,
working
man.
on it. Well,
Yeah.
about 90% of the comments have been the following: who is your favorite director to work with? So I just wanted to ask that real
Oh,
quickly.
I think this is trying to. I didn't catch that last.
Yeah, that's
Dallas.
Pee Wee Herman.
Hello.
All
Yeah,
right.
man. It was a dream, man. You really made it a place to feel at home on set. So, and I'm sure every cast member that got to chat with you today expressed the same. But it's a very unique experience in so many ways, and you're at the head of the wagon train there. So thank you for everything. It's been
Thank you,
such a
brother.
joy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love you so much. And
love you too, buddy.
I'll close with this comment from Cynthia Bjork, who says, "You've really helped me deepen my relationship with Jesus." There's nothing more beautiful we can hear than that. So I think that's the best thing to close on.
Thank you. Well, thanks for taking my video request for a couple of minutes, and glad to at least say hello. And best of luck to on the move, and love to Amanda and the kids, and we'll see you soon.
All right. See you soon, brother.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you, buddy.
Bye, everybody. And with that, we'll go. Remember, it's not your job to feed the 5,000, only provide the loaves and fish. And with that, we will say goodbye. Bye-bye.